The desert sun was brutal. Nevada, 1972. July. The kind of heat that makes asphalt shimmer and turns metal too hot to touch. The film set sprawled across 30 acres of nothing. Trailers, equipment trucks, generators humming, a crew of 80 people waiting, actors in costume, cameramen checking angles, grips moving sandbags, directors reviewing shot lists, everyone doing their job, everyone except one person. Bruce Lee was supposed to be there at 6 a.m. Call time. Non-negotiable. The entire day's shoot was built around his scenes. Fight choreography with 3 stunt performers, dialogue with Clint Eastwood, establishing shots that required specific morning light. By 9 a.m., the light would be wrong. The schedule would collapse. The budget would hemorrhage. Everyone knew this. Everyone except Bruce Lee, apparently. Clint Eastwood stood near the main camera, arms crossed, jaw tight. He was the star, the name above the title. The reason the film got greenlit. But more than that, he was a professional. He showed up on time. He knew his lines. He hit his marks. He didn't waste people's time or money. That was the code. The unwritten rule that separated people who lasted in this business from people who flamed out. 6 a.m. became 7. The assistant director made calls. Bruce's hotel, no answer. His agent, voicemail. His manager, out of town. The sun climbed higher. The light shifted. The DP started getting nervous. They could shoot other scenes, coverage, B-roll. But the day was built around Bruce's fight sequence. Without him, they were burning daylight and money with nothing to show for it. 7 became 8. The crew started getting restless. Grips sitting on equipment cases. Actors retreating to air-conditioned trailers. Craft services setting out a second breakfast nobody wanted. Clint didn't move. Didn't retreat to his trailer. Just stood there, waiting. His presence, a statement. If he could be here on time, so could everyone else. 8 became 9. The light was wrong now. Completely wrong. The golden morning glow was gone. Harsh overhead sun. Deep shadows. Everything the DP didn't want. The assistant director approached Clint. Tentative. Apologetic. We could reschedule Bruce's scenes. Shoot the interior stuff. Come back tomorrow morning for the fight. Clint didn't respond immediately, just stared at the empty road leading into the set. The road Bruce should have driven down 3 hours ago. Finally, we wait. 9:15. A car appeared on the horizon, dust plume trailing behind it. The crew noticed. Conversation stopped. People straightened. The car got closer. A rental. Bruce Lee behind the wheel. He pulled into the parking area, got out, carrying a small duffel bag, wearing casual clothes, not costume, not ready to shoot. He walked toward the set. Not hurrying, not running, just walking. Like this was normal. Like showing up 3 hours late to a major studio film was acceptable. The crew parted, made a path. Nobody spoke. Nobody greeted him. Just silence. 80 people watching. Bruce noticed. Finally, noticed the silence, the stares, the tension thick enough to choke on. He saw Clint, standing exactly where he'd been standing since 6 a.m., arms still crossed, face unreadable. Bruce walked over, offered a smile. "Sorry I'm late. There was traffic and—" Clint held up a hand. "Stop." The smile died on Bruce's face. He'd never seen Clint like this. They'd worked together before, friendly, professional, Mutual respect. This was different. This was cold. This was something else entirely. 3 hours, Clint said. Not loud, not yelling, just stating fact. 3 hours we've been standing here. 80 people, waiting for you. Bruce started to respond, started to explain. Traffic. Alarm didn't go off. Confusion about call time. The usual excuses. Clint's hand stayed up. Stop talking. Do you know what 3 hours costs? Clint's voice was still quiet, still controlled. But there was something underneath, something dangerous. The crew, the equipment, the lost light, the schedule we now have to rebuild. Do you have any idea? Bruce's face changed. The casual confidence evaporated. He was starting to understand. This wasn't just annoyance. This was serious. I can make it up. We can shoot now. I'll work through lunch. We can... No. Simple. Definitive. Final. Bruce blinked. Confused. No? The light's wrong. The schedule's destroyed. Your scenes are postponed until tomorrow. If we're lucky. If the weather holds. If we can reorganize 80 people's time. Clint stepped closer. Not threatening, just closing distance. Making this personal. This is a professional set. We have professional people. People who showed up on time. People who respect other people's time. People who understand what it means to be part of a team. Bruce nodded. Getting it now, really getting it. I understand. It won't happen again. I promise. Tomorrow, I'll be here at 5. 4, if you want. Clint's expression didn't change, didn't soften. If anything, it got harder. You're right. It won't happen again. He let that hang in the air. Let Bruce process it, figure out what it meant. It took a moment. Then understanding hit. Visible. Like a physical blow. Wait. Clint, come on. It's one mistake. One time. I've never... Pack your bag. Get out. 5 words. Quiet. Calm. Absolutely final. The desert went silent. The crew had been pretending not to listen. Now they stopped pretending. Just stared. Shocked. Bruce Lee, international martial arts star, rising action icon, being fired, on the spot, in front of everyone. You can't be serious, Bruce said. His voice had changed. Desperate now, pleading. I made a mistake. I know. But firing me? The whole film is a production involving hundreds of people and millions of dollars, Clint interrupted. People who depend on this for their livelihood. People with families, mortgages, bills. People who show up on time because they're professionals, because they respect the work. He paused. Let that sink in. You disrespected all of them today, not just me. Them. Bruce looked around, at the crew, at the faces watching. Some sympathetic, most not. He'd cost them a day, cost them money, cost them the shot they'd prepared for, cost them their professionalism. Clint, please, let me apologize to everyone. Let me make it right. Your apology doesn't give them back 3 hours, doesn't fix the schedule, doesn't unfuck the budget. Clint's language was harsh now, deliberate, making a point. This is Hollywood. We live or die by our reputation. Yours just died. The assistant director stepped forward, uncomfortable. Clint, maybe we should discuss this privately. The studio might... Clint turned. The look stopped him mid-sentence. The studio hired me to deliver a film. On budget. On schedule. Professional. That's what I'm doing. Anyone who can't be professional doesn't belong on my set." He turned back to Bruce. "Your agent will hear from the production company. There'll be paperwork, legal stuff. But right now, in this moment, you're done. Go home." Bruce stood there, frozen, unable to process. This couldn't be happening. Not to him. Not Bruce Lee. He'd survived poverty in Hong Kong, racism in America, the death of his film career once already. He'd clawed his way back, built himself into something. And now this, destroyed by being 3 hours late. "I have a contract," Bruce said, grasping at straws, looking for anything. "I'm legally obligated to—" "You violated your contract the moment you showed up late without notification," the assistant director said quietly. He didn't sound happy about it, just stating fact. "Call time is call time. It's in the contract. Page 4. You signed it." Bruce's hands clenched, unclenched. He wanted to argue, to fight, to demonstrate that he was valuable, that they needed him. But looking around at 80 faces, he saw the truth. They didn't need him. Not enough to tolerate this. There were other martial artists, other action stars, other people who would show up on time and do the work and not waste everyone's day. He was replaceable. Everyone was replaceable. "Fine," Bruce said. The word came out bitter, angry. "I'll go, but you're making a mistake. This film needs me more than I need it." Clint's expression didn't change. "We'll find out." Bruce turned, walked back to his car. The crew parted again, still silent, watching him leave. He threw his duffel bag in the back seat, got behind the wheel, sat there for a moment, hands on the steering wheel, staring at nothing. Then he started the engine, drove away, the dust plume trailing behind him like a funeral procession. The crew watched until the car disappeared. Then, slowly, they turned back to Clint. Waiting. What now? Clint looked at the assistant director. "Call the stunt coordinator. See if any of them can handle Bruce's dialogue. If not, we rewrite. Make it work with whoever we've got." The assistant director nodded, pulled out his radio, started making calls. Within 20 minutes, they had a plan. One of the stunt performers, a guy named Tommy Chen, had some acting experience. Not much, but enough. They'd rewrite the scenes, simplify the dialogue, focus on the action. It would work. It would have to work. By 10 a.m. they were shooting, not the scenes they'd planned. Different scenes. Adjusted. Adapted. But shooting, making progress, keeping the schedule moving. The crew watched Clint with new eyes. Respect. Maybe even fear. He'd fired Bruce Lee. Actually done it. Hadn't blinked. Hadn't hesitated. Just made the call and moved on. That sent a message. Nobody was untouchable. Nobody was so valuable they could disrespect the work. The news spread fast. By lunch, Bruce's agent was calling the production office. Furious. Threatening. Talking about lawsuits and contracts and damage to Bruce's reputation. The studio lawyers listened patiently, then read back the contract clause about call times, about professional conduct, about the production's right to terminate for cause. The agent went quiet, realized they didn't have a case, realized Bruce had actually fucked this up. By dinner, the story was all over Hollywood. Bruce Lee fired from Clint Eastwood's film, 3 hours late, sent home in front of the whole crew. Different versions, different details. Some saying Bruce showed up drunk, some saying he didn't show up at all, that Clint fired him preemptively. Some saying there was a fight, physical, that Bruce challenged Clint, None of it true. But the truth didn't matter. The story mattered. And the story was, Bruce Lee was unreliable. Bruce Lee disrespected the work. Bruce Lee got what he deserved. Within a week, 3 other projects Bruce was attached to quietly let him go. Not fired, just going in a different direction. Budget constraints. Creative differences. Industry speak for, we heard what happened and we don't want that problem. Bruce's agent tried damage control, called journalists, planted stories. Bruce had a family emergency. Bruce was sick. Bruce was set up. Nobody bought it. Too many people had been on that set. Too many witnesses. The truth was out there. Bruce spent weeks trying to get meetings. To explain. To rebuild. Doors that had been open were now closed. Calls that had been returned went to voicemail. Projects that had been very interested were now full. Hollywood had made its decision. Bruce Lee was box office poison. 2 months later, Bruce sat in his small Los Angeles apartment. The phone that used to ring constantly was silent. The scripts that used to pile up had stopped coming. His bank account was draining, rent coming due, bills stacking up. His wife Linda asked him what happened. How did it get this bad this fast? Bruce told her the truth. He'd been 3 hours late. Thought it wouldn't matter. Thought his value exceeded his punctuality. Thought wrong. Linda didn't say, "I told you so." Didn't need to. They both knew. This was his fault. His arrogance. His assumption that rules didn't apply to him. She asked what he was going to do. Bruce stared out the window at Los Angeles spreading out below. The city that had rejected him. Again. "I don't know," he said. For the first time in his life, he genuinely didn't know. The uncertainty was crushing, paralyzing. He'd always had a plan, always had a next move, always believed in himself. But now, sitting in that apartment with bills he couldn't pay and a career in ruins, he had nothing. Just the echo of 5 words. Pack your bag. Get out. 3 months after the firing, Bruce got a call. Not from Hollywood. From Hong Kong. A producer named Raymond Chow. He'd heard about what happened. The whole industry had. But Chow didn't care about Hollywood politics. He cared about one thing. Could Bruce Lee still fight on camera? Could he still move? Could he still draw audiences? Bruce said yes, absolutely. Without hesitation, Chow offered him a film, small budget, Hong Kong production. Nothing glamorous, but work. Real work. Bruce took it. Flew to Hong Kong the next week. The film was called The Big Boss. Low budget. Rushed schedule. 6-day weeks. Brutal conditions. Bruce showed up every day at 5 a.m., an hour before call time, every single day. He knew his lines, hit his marks, worked through lunch, stayed late, did whatever was asked, made no demands, caused no problems. The crew noticed. Word spread. Bruce Lee, the guy who got fired in Hollywood, was the most professional person on set. Never late, never complained, never caused problems. The Hong Kong film industry was small, tight-knit. Everyone knew everyone. Stories traveled fast. Within weeks, every producer in Hong Kong knew. Bruce Lee had changed. The arrogance was gone. The entitlement was gone. What remained was hunger, drive, discipline, the kind of work ethic that made everyone around him better. When The Big Boss came out, it shattered box office records in Hong Kong, then across Asia, then worldwide. Bruce became the biggest action star in the world. Not in Hollywood, in Hong Kong, but big enough that Hollywood noticed. Started calling again. Started asking if he was available, if he'd consider coming back. Bruce's agent fielded the calls. Bruce made the decisions. Most of them, he said no. He remembered being fired, remembered doors closing, remembered phones going silent. He didn't forget. And he didn't forgive. But one call he took. 1973. Warner Brothers. They wanted to make a film, real budget, international release. Co-production between Hong Kong and Hollywood. Bruce could have creative control, fighting choreography, story input, everything he'd wanted before. They needed him now. He was bankable, proven, the biggest action star in the world. Bruce agreed. One condition, he wanted a professional set. Call times respected, schedule honored, no prima donnas, no bullshit, just work. Warner Brothers agreed. Anything he wanted. The film was called Enter the Dragon. It would make Bruce Lee immortal. But there was someone Bruce needed to see first. Before signing, before committing, before moving forward. He found out where Clint Eastwood was shooting. A Western, Montana, middle of nowhere. Bruce drove 8 hours, showed up at the set, asked to see Clint. The assistant director recognized him. Awkward, uncomfortable. He's in the middle of a scene. Maybe you could come back. I'll wait, Bruce said. He stood off to the side, watching. They were shooting a gunfight, Clint moving through it like water. Precise, efficient, professional. Everything Bruce should have been that day in Nevada. The scene wrapped. Clint saw him. For a moment, neither moved. Then Clint walked over. Bruce? Clint. Silence, heavy, loaded with history. Finally, Bruce spoke. I came to say thank you. Clint raised an eyebrow. Didn't expect that. You fired me. Best thing that ever happened to me. Bruce's voice was steady, honest. I was arrogant. Thought I was bigger than the work, bigger than the team. You showed me I wasn't. You showed me nobody is. Clint listened, didn't interrupt. I went to Hong Kong, started over, showed up on time. Every day, respected the work, respected the people, built something real, something I earned. Bruce paused. I needed that lesson, needed to be humbled, needed to understand defeat what professionalism actually means. Clint's expression softened, slightly. You learned it? Yes. Good. They stood there, two professionals, two men who understood the work, the sacrifice, the discipline it required. I heard about Enter the Dragon, Clint said. Congratulations. Thank you. I'm going to make it count. Show up on time. Every day. Honor the work. Clint extended his hand. Bruce took it. They shook. Firm. Respectful. That's all anyone can ask, Clint said. Bruce nodded. Turned to leave. Then stopped. Turned back. Those 5 words you said. Pack your bag. Get out. I think about them every day. Every single day. Do they help? Yes. Then they were worth saying. Bruce left. Drove back to Los Angeles. Signed the contract for Enter the Dragon. Showed up to the first day of shooting 2 hours early. Every day after, he was first on set. Last to leave. No complaints, no drama, no excuses. The film wrapped on schedule. Under budget. Professional. Perfect. Enter the Dragon was released in August 1973. It became one of the most successful films of the year. Bruce Lee became a global icon, bigger than Hollywood, bigger than any studio, a legend. But he never forgot Nevada, never forgot the desert, the heat, the 80 people waiting, the 3 hours, the 5 words. Years later, journalists would ask him about his success, his discipline, his work ethic. He'd tell them the truth. He was fired once for being late. It taught him everything he needed to know about respect, about professionalism, about the work. They'd ask who fired him. He'd smile. Someone who cared enough about the work to hold me accountable. Someone who taught me that talent means nothing without discipline. He never said the name, didn't need to. Clint Eastwood knew. Bruce Lee knew. That was enough. The lesson was learned. The message received. Time is respect. Respect is everything. Without it, talent doesn't matter. Success doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Bruce Lee learned that in a Nevada desert in 1972. Learned it from 5 words that ended his career and saved his life. That moment, that brutal confrontation under the desert sun, became the foundation of everything that came after. Every film, every fight scene, every moment of discipline and dedication. It all traced back to those 5 words, to the man who cared enough to say them, to the lesson that hurt enough to stick. And in the end, that pain became the greatest gift Bruce Lee ever received. Not fame, not fortune, not even immortality, but understanding. Real understanding of what it meant to be professional, what it meant to respect the craft, what it meant to honor the people who depend on you to show up and do the work. That understanding transformed him from a talented martial artist into a legend. From someone who could fight into someone who understood what fighting for something bigger than yourself actually meant. The irony wasn't lost on Bruce. The firing that destroyed his Hollywood career became the catalyst that created his global legacy. The humiliation that broke him in Nevada rebuilt him in Hong Kong. Stronger, better, more complete. He carried those 5 words with him until the day he died. Pack your bag. Get out. They were tattooed on his soul, a permanent reminder that greatness isn't about talent. It's about showing up. It's about respecting the work. It's about understanding that every person on that set, from the biggest star to the lowest grip, deserves your professionalism, your dedication, your respect. Bruce Lee learned that the hard way, in front of 80 witnesses, under a brutal desert sun. And he never forgot it. When he died in 1973, just weeks after Enter the Dragon's release, those who knew him best said the same thing. Bruce Lee became a legend not because of his physical abilities, not because of his speed or power or technique, but because he understood something most people never learn. That discipline is the bridge between talent and achievement. That respect is the foundation of all success. That showing up on time is the first step to showing up in history. Clint Eastwood gave him that. 5 words in a Nevada desert. The greatest lesson of Bruce Lee's life.